Hello there. Today I want to review a heavily modified saber. I actually haven't reviewed an Ultrasaber in quite some time. My collection is actually down to just two. My Crimson Scorpion, which I currently have in a glaive configuration. I've done another video on that. And then I have an Initiate V2, which can only ever be a stunt saber, so no sound on this one. But I have it in tri-red, which means it's the brightest red that you can get. And pretty much the only reason this one's still in my collection is because it is brighter than even my Crimson Dawn RGB sabers. So for a baselit, this is incredibly bright, and I've done a ton of modifications. So of course, I've got it currently in a red day blade. And I recommend, just as a side note, if you are going to get a day blade, I get mine from the Custom Saber Shop. They do have a standard red, which is what this one is, but I would recommend getting a enhanced red tip because it cuts out on any dead spot. I mean, if this was the same standard red as this, there'd be a much darker dead spot right here. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the saber itself. Now, as you can see, this looks drastically different from the regular Initiate V2. I've added quite a few things. So I've added this Suba, which is made out of a plumbing flask. I put electric tape here for a wrap. I've done a katana wrap here with some metallic red on the inside. I took a Custom Saber Shop extension here to bring this out and make it MHS compatible, because normally the V2s are not. And then I've put an Dark Initiate V5 pommel on the end of it. So it's about 12 inches from the tip of the Suba to the bottom of the pommel. And it definitely has its own unique flair. Of course, I've also put some thumb screws there. But let me kind of break down some of the things that I've done on this. So, of course, the pommel. Pretty simple. And then I use actually resin and a coupler on the inside of that. Get this unscrewed. So again, that is actually a V2 coupler on the inside of that I used resin, because normally this is the pommel this comes with. So a normal little pommel here. And I still think that looks pretty good too, even though it's a good deal shorter. You know, it doesn't really feel like a two-handed saber at this point, but that still looks pretty good. And let me show you real quick the Suba, the way that I've attached this to the tip. It's actually attached to the blade rather than the saber itself. And all this is again, it's a plumbing flange, and I've put a little bit of PVC that's perfectly fit on there. This is an O-ring, and that O-ring just prevents it from sliding down further on the blade. And then, of course, let me swap out the other blade. So because this is a stunt saber, there's no sound. I do like to duel with this, and so I swap it out for this is actually a Crimson Dawn mid-grade blade. And I like the Crimson Dawn mid-grades because they're a little thicker than the Ultrasabers mid-grades, but they're not as thick as the Ultrasabers heavy grade. So it doesn't block as much light, but it's just as duel-worthy, at least in my experience, and comes out pretty bright, just like the day blade. It's of course a little longer, because I have this in the full 36, whereas my day blade is actually only in a 32. The reason why I have my day blade in a 32 is because I have another optional blade swap, which I'll go ahead and show you. So this is another bit that I've created out of some PVC pipe. So this is a crossbar PVC, a coupler, and then a little bit of slanted PVC. I've tapped a screw hole here because that's going to hold on this blade, and then I actually, with these, I just wrapped these in electrical tape until they were just the perfect fit to snugly go into there. And then I put a little bit of tubing here that goes like so. And then of course I put some electrical tape here to block out some of the light that comes through just a little bit. But what's really nice about this is that because the inside of this is a white PVC, and this is foil tape, so I just covered this in aluminum foil tape so that it matches the actual aluminum here. But because it's white on the inside, this is a tri-cree, it comes off pretty bright. Now obviously, since the light is going straight up through the blade, these aren't getting as much light, but I think it looks pretty decent. So if I wanted to do a cross guard, I could do that, and I could keep the shorter pommel. Or if I really wanted a monster saber, I could go ahead and add this back on. That would be a pretty hefty saber. But I really like this in my collection. It's allowed me to branch out and do some interesting things with the different, working with PVC, plumbing flange, different custom saber shop parts. I had to have a katana wrap on there. I finally perfected kind of getting that katana wrap. So I really wanted to add that little bit of flair to that grip. Let me go ahead and put this back to its normal configuration. Again, I hope you guys enjoy. Just wanted to go and show you guys that, the sky's the limit when it comes to customizations and what you can do with your lightsabers. There's a variety of different techniques that I've used with this, with that crossguard adapter, and then still, even with all these additions, I can just swap out the blade and get a dueling blade going. But I hope you guys enjoy.